Sawadee Krap and welcome to this Christmas special or Christmas/New Year's special here at the Funkit. As you can see from the headline, thumbnail, and so on, just taking a very, very quick look at what's gonna happen next year. Why? Because, well, to be honest, I got a bit annoyed by all those articles out there, like expectations for 2024 in digital marketing and in communications. And the expectation is that AI generated content is gonna get more and data is going to be really important. And no kidding. That's been the case for the last, whatever years. Data-driven marketing has been like a buzzword for years now. Of course, data is going to be more important. Like, why wouldn't it be? It's the key to personalization. So obviously, you can see I'm a bit mad. So I figured, well, hey, let me throw, 5, 6, how many do I have on my list? I have seven points on my list when I thought about what I think is going to happen in 2024. Maybe not right in January, but I think those are a few things that are a bit more out there, but I think are quite reasonable to actually at least consider. Okay, so here are my top 7 digital marketing / AI, obviously, expectations for 2024. So first of all, number 1, I think we're going to talk about the mind-meld revolution. Okay, forget just basic targeted ads. I think what we have to prepare for is for AI-powered empathy marketing. Okay, so algorithms, as they get better, obviously, because every article talks about it, like algorithms, data, yeah. So I think that we're at a point where now algorithms will be able to delve further into the emotional undercurrents of social media, for example, or maybe even like of what you do with the AI, right? So that leads us then as marketing agencies, marketers, to being able to create content via the AI, via utilizing the data, crafting content that resonates on a deeper level, sparking more conversations and building like more genuine brand connections. So while the last part of the sentence, I realize, of course, sounds like a marketing slogan, which it is, I do think that, empathy is the way, right? Every marketing class in the world talks about like, if you find a connection with your audience, then they're gonna follow you and blah blah. So empathy is, of course, the way to go. And if you understand based on data, let me say that word 1,000 more times because it's in every article and every LinkedIn post everywhere. So if you can actually use it, because it's not about like collecting data, right? Collecting data is super easy because, let's be honest, out there in the wild, most people don't care about the privacy. Even if they say they do, they don't. They're lazy, most of them, right? So they give up the data very easily. So collecting data is pretty easy. Using it is not, and collecting and making sense of data is not. And so if you find a way to actually analyze emotions, you can get rid of but you can enhance your targeted ads, right? So it's not just targeting on like basic personas or even advanced personas, but based on empathy levels, which I think is something that we will see in 2024 way more than now. You might say, yeah, but we see that now already. Yeah, but it's very basic. Okay, I think it's going to be much, 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 much better. So that's one thing we should look out for. The second thing I think we should look out for, or I'm looking out for because I know it's going to happen, is the rise of hyper creators. What does it mean? We see it already to an extent, but we will see AI tools morphing even from assistants to collaborators. Okay? So those collaborators will generate like high quality video scripts, for example. Right now they don't. I tried with Bard, no offense Bard, and I tried with ChatGPT. And the scripts are just terrible. Like I tried to get some scripts for the podcast. It's terrible. So they're gonna have like way better capability to create like quality video scripts, like personalized music tracks. Right? We just saw that like Google actually announced today that their new large language learning model has the capabilities to do so. So it's going to be very interesting, like interactive narratives maybe even, which will then empower the everyday user to become like, what's a terrible metaphor, like digital like Michelangelos. why not, right? So you will be able to churn out content that has the potential to go viral like never before. Having that said, though, that doesn't mean that going viral will be easier, because, of course, this enables many more people to do that, right? So then, of course, it still comes down to how well do you do it. It's going to be at a point that if you don't do it, you're probably going to be left behind. Okay, so I think those hyper creators are going to be a thing even more than right now, because right now, while AI is, of course, progressing very fast, it's not on a very satisfying level as of yet, from my humble point of view. I think with the leaps we've seen over the past year that AI has taken, this will get to a completely different level in 2024, and we will see those hyper creators. That was point number 2. Point number 3, and I'm going to say, yes, it's finally going to happen in 2024, AR. And I'm laughing because, I mean, AR has been around forever, right? But it's also in every other article out there, right? It's like AR. But let me explain what I think is going to happen, right? So I think this try on clothes without leaving your couch, and like those exploring like virtual vineyards before booking your next trip and so on, is eventually gonna get good enough so that it's actually gonna make a dent. Because so far up until now, let's be honest, all those IKEA apps and whatnot, they're cute, but it didn't really change anything. Yeah, and I think we are now at a point where it might be able to change something, to actually leave a dent in e-commerce. I think AI-powered AR will explode in e-commerce and travel. I think it's going to blur the lines between like reality and digital experiences, which will make the purchase like more of like an adventure, like a micro experience, if you will. We know micro experiences are very important in digital marketing, which then will lead to probably better conversions. And I think now we're at a point where it's probably going to be easier to create those AR applications, those AR use cases on the fly, if that makes sense. So you're not creating the app on the fly, but you have your app and then like the content within the AR, like the personalized empathetic content, for example, based on the data of the user via AI, look at me using all the buzzwords, could then actually be personalized to an extent that it actually makes sense to have it, and then maybe actually make a dent in the respective e-commerce business. Because I think we're going to be at a point where this could actually work now in 2024. Not just like this, oh, look at that's how your sofa would look like, but actually actionable like experiences that will actually make you purchase something, I think. So that's the next step. So that was number 3, all right? Number 3 was AR combined with AI shopping sprees are gonna be a thing. 4th point on my list, when I prepared this, I just wrote down Chatbot Whisperer. Chatbots, obviously nothing new. I mean, now they're booming more, but nothing crazy new. But it hasn't been as awesome just yet. But now, hand in hand with what I just said, it's time to say goodbye to this robotic customer service, hopefully. Right? So obviously AI-powered chatbots, not a crazy prediction, but combined with my first point, if you paid attention, I think they will master the art of being more emotionally intelligent. Yeah, so they're going to read more subtle cues in like text and voice, which then will hopefully lead to better responses. So the support will be more personalized, and maybe if they run on Bard, not on ChatGPT, they will even be able to actually crack a few jokes in here and there if appropriate. Right? So I think we're going to take another So I think we're actually going to take another leap forward when it comes to AI chatbots and so on. Yeah. I know not a crazy prediction, but if it goes hand in hand with my first point, I think it's a big step forward. Okay, another thing that I think is going to happen even more, and yeah, it might also not sound too crazy at first, but let me elaborate. Gamification. If you're in marketing, digital marketing, you heard of gamification, you're probably using it, hopefully. We've been teaching it for years, gamification, but I think gamification is going to actually get another boost in the coming year. Yeah? Forget those basic loyalty programs, like get ready for like some real interactive brand quests, I think. Gamified marketing campaigns, I think that they reward engagement with personalized challenges, and I think the importance is personalization here. Like you get like virtual treasures, social bragging rights, you name it, which then will turn hopefully customers into enthusiastic like brand ambassadors, brand champions, you name it. You know the idea of gamification. But I think now based on the data and the AI, that gamification will take another step, another leap. Like it's going to be way more personalized, which in return will lead to way more acceptance of gamified marketing campaigns. It will make it not easier, it will make it more complicated to set up, but easier to actually then connect to your audience, which of course is what we want as marketers, right? So I think gamification uprising is happening now. If you don't know how to gamify your marketing campaigns, you're probably going to be left behind because there's so much serious stuff out there. And being personal, being empathetic, and then packing this in a gamified approach sounds like the perfect campaign to me. Okay, so I think that's something that's going to also be happening in 2024, gamification uprising. Now, however, to completely throw a wrench into all of that, because right now, what I said, the first 5 points were like, okay, AI and data pushed together will create this, right? And I stand by it. However, I also think what's going to eventually happen, and it happened already with like, especially in Western Europe where I have my roots still and lots of connections, I think it's already happened a little bit there. I think it's going to take over the rest of the world, like here in Asia, for example. I don't think it had happened that much just yet. I think the data detox movement, DDM, TDDM, copyright pending, is gonna find more, followers. Yeah, so I think consumers are gonna demand more transparency and control over their digital footprints. Maybe, we will have like blockchain powered like data marketplaces, for example, which might then, and now I'm of course going crazy, but which might allow users to sell their data directly to brands, cutting out the middleman and creating maybe a fairer, more secure digital ecosystem. I know that's now far out there. I do think that the data detox movement, copyright pending, is going to be a thing that people will be more wary of where the data goes. They will demand more transparency and control over their data. That second step, that there might be like a blockchain-based system that will allow you to sell your own data. I'm not sure if we see this in 2024. Maybe a try, but maybe it's just a business idea for you right now. But I do think that people will become more aware of like the power of the data. Okay. All right. Lastly, it's going to happen. It has to happen. It will happen. AI watchdogs. Going to happen. Governments won't let us just have fun with it, obviously. So as AI's power grows, so will the need for like responsible use, of course. So you gotta expect stricter regulations and I wrote down in my notes independent AI ethics boards, but how independent they actually will be remains to be seen. I don't have high hopes, to be honest. If you look at like who's like in charge, who's like in the boards of all those AI companies, I mean, at Google, for example, or like also at OpenAI and Anthropic and who else is out there, whatever. Like if you look at like who's like on those boards, independence, I'm not sure. It would be nice, but there will be ethics boards or AI regulators and whatnot. So they say they're going to ensure that algorithms are unbiased and transparent and serve a greater good and whatnot, which would be nice. Don't think they will be unbiased, but I think there will be ethics boards that will have influence on how AI will be allowed to operate. That's what I think. All right, so that's just like a taste of like the digital marketing and AI like smorgasbord like coming your way in 2024. Let me know what you think. Like, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen in 2024 from digital marketing / AI point of view? Very curious to hear. I hope those those points made sense and they aren't just your average like LinkedIn post points that you see everywhere. Yeah, again, let me know at fungitpod on social media, fungitpod@gmail.com. Until then, yeah, stay safe, take care, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, rate this thing, it would be nice. And yeah, well, happy holidays. I hope you're all having some days off, meeting with friends, family, whatever you prefer, and heading into a fantastic 2024. We'll talk again next year. Until then, stay safe, take care. Sawadee Cup.